Ever wonder what it's like to go to Alex Hormozi's workshop? You're about to hear a conversation or a review of what it was like for day one. A whole bunch of us boys got together. Our businesses range from $3 million to around $15 million. We flew here 14 hours to be able to attend it. We're going to share in this review what frameworks and tools we took away from it and kind of insights that we're going to put into our businesses from the experts from acquisition.com. Check this out.
So try again, this time take a vitamin. Welcome to the line.
Hey guys. We're asked if we could ask one question to Alex and Layla Hormozi, what would it be? And I had to think really hard about it. And would you make it more empirical knowledge? So it's like how-tos, or make it more subjective knowledge around, but what are they maybe struggling mentally that even after achieving success, they're still working on, things like that.
How do you feel being here? You've been watching his content for years.
I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of people that I've looked up to in business, and I've been disappointed by many. I'm not saying I'm going to be disappointed with these guys, but I'm saying I just don't think it's a healthy thing to put people on pedestals. But to be here and see this shows it's legit and shows that it feels cool. So for those who are interested in what is it like, the experience, so it's in Las Vegas, so it's in the desert.
Yeah, a lot of aircon,
Yeah, and we rocked up and we were doing some filming and stuff, and we were told, oh yeah, no cameras are allowed, so and we respect that.
Yeah.
Hormozi wasn't there today. Day one wasn't there.
That's right.
And that's interesting how the power of a personal brand, you got 70 people, businesses, flying across from Europe. Who else was it from
UK, Europe and Australia.
In Australia, that 10 plus hour flight because of a guy they saw on the internet, and we're all here because of him. He wasn't even there. Yeah. But tomorrow he's going to be there for Q&A live in the flesh. He lent his credibility to his genius team. They're all really good.
Yeah. It still doesn't feel like we skipped the beat though.
No, we didn't miss it.
Well, we went, I'm not complaining about it.
I don't have buyer's regret. There's no buyer's regret. I'm not sitting there going, oh, I wish I didn't speak. Because now I'm going into the session tomorrow with knowledge. I'm just going to go super deep in a certain area.
Yeah.
So, we talked about fundamental economics and having a great LTV to CAC. But here's my problem in this area. How can we improve CAC here? So now we go in, and he's going to have better questions. We're going to be all more qualified. We're going to be more understanding. We're going to have depth. We're going to bring numbers because we won't want to be silly without numbers to the chats tomorrow. So it's actually a smarter strategy for him to have a better client and have a better outcome for the client. So it's actually good learning for us as well to go, we as founders don't need to be in every single thing. We need to step back, trust our teams. If we can set the right vision, the values, and the teams working through them, and then you have the right capability in your team, your clients will get the best results nonetheless.
You've invested a lot of cash, a lot of time in America and all around the place. What did you get?
In the room itself, when they talked about the level of founders, I think we're in the top sort of 5% of the businesses in that room, and there was about 70, 80 businesses. So it's definitely a good feeling that we're already doing so well. And that too, we're an Australian business, but we travel to the other side of the world, and in a room from who's known to be one of the top entrepreneurial coaches in the world, we're in the top 5% of the businesses in a country that's more than 15 times our size in population and by market.
34 million businesses in America?
Yeah. So I think that was...
Small businesses and less than 2% of them.
And there's 2.6 million businesses in Australia compared to 34 million here.
2% was acquired by private equity.
It was acquired by private equity.
Yeah.
That was one of my big takeaways, was that it's an international language business. So we came over there, and I think part of my expectation was, how many different ways are they going to be doing things to grow the companies here? And I actually feel that probably for the first half of the day, they were all systems and processes that we know to be true, because it's a natural language. So I had this feeling maybe I'll be a bit overwhelmed. I'm going to throw stuff out there that's a bit crazy, but it was very, very consistent. And that was the biggest thing, is the confirmation of not only we're on the right path, but the way we're executing to that path is also really quite correct. And it just helped me ask different questions and think a bit differently about problems that we've got. So it gave a new lens, new perspective.
First half of the workshop was a lot of formulas, like LTV, CAC, all the stuff that Hormozi talks about, plus many more that he doesn't talk about. And it's a mirror back to you, because if you don't know it, you're going to be like there was guys next to us that were going, oh shit, I don't know anything about this stuff. And that's good. You get that from being in the room. I don't think I would have got that by watching a video, because I've watched heaps of videos.
Yeah. Also with videos, they usually double down on depth in a singular area. And so the problem there is you don't actually have a perfect formula to walk away with. It's like holistic in the whole business. And so that's exactly to your point. That gave us that. You know, another thing is like we're doing acquisitions a lot now. Finance businesses, insurance soon. And so as we go through this acquisitions journey, it's like I have a metric system now to evaluate them.
That's it.
Where before, yeah, I'd evaluate them on things that I thought were important, but it's clear that if I can order things in a certain way, I have a framework that's far more tried and tested to use when evaluating businesses. So when I do say my numbers, I do say my thoughts, it's not by, I think and you think and let's just see where we land in the middle. It's like, no, here's how I got to it. Here's why. What do you think? Right. So
Off the back of that, it was quite refreshing to also see how what my clients go through before they actually come to me with a merger and acquisition, the due diligence that they go through, and the points that they tick off when they come to me, and they'll be like, "Oh, Joe, we want to purchase this business," and now I know what they've gone through, and I can actually add more further value to that.
Good point.
That was really infectious.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love
that was
that.
really infectious.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I think the best takeaway for me is great CEOs think like investors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that was
know,
big.
Yeah.
As an operating lawyer, I mean, I don't necessarily think like that. I just think about the law on every matter. But I've now shifted or pivoted almost immediately after that entire session to actually see how I could scale my business, even though I might not potentially want to sell it, right? But the best business to own are the ones that sell at a great price. So
That was a good thing of the day, wasn't it? At the start, it's like, who here wants to hold their business forever? And some people were like, I don't want to sell. So who wants to sell? And it's like the things that have in common is you want to build a great business regardless.
Yeah.
And a phrase I've always said is the best businesses to sell are the ones you want to keep. The old phrase is if you're always ready, you don't have to get it ready. But I think a big thing that we all got to was data. Because people throw the word data around like that's very sexy. But in practical senses, like from today, like it was like if you got data to know who's coming from where and all that, you're not going, I feel like it works because of this.
yes.
That's what you were kind of alluding to before.
There was the push versus pull, right? If you're constantly needing to pull data, figure it all out, versus it pushes itself towards you. Like you've got all the insights, you're getting them at a regular frequency. It's actually just as simple as going, we have this for our property investors. Like we're data driven down to the most detail for property investors. Let's not just take that to a whole new level, the same we do for them, but for us as a business, right? So that was big. And you know, just solidifying decisions was another one.
Yeah.
We talked about decisions we'd made literally a few weeks prior. We talked about how we could make it twice as easy, twice as fast, and lower the risk for our clients. And how we thought of doing that was going, it's not just about buying for more Aussies because of our trained staff, our higher quantity of staff, our greater leadership team, our improved systems and processes. What was really good to hear about that is that we did that move a week prior to this workshop. And when we heard today that, hey, the best way you can improve lifetime value of a client is the twice as fast, just as easy, and remove the friction.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you're not just helping more Aussies, but you're helping more Aussies better.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing. And that just made me realize when they said, what's the role of a CEO? It's allocate resources to the right constraint points. And we did that together. We made a phone call, we made a decision, we immediately got off it and said, we're going to 50% increase our headcount in the acquisitions team. We're going to triple the leadership headcount in the acquisitions team. And we're going to have the largest acquisitions team in Australia by October this year. And all trained up, ready to go. And so like October this year, we move into November, we're doubling the speed in which we buy for clients. Like that's a game changer. And so to have a decision like today where you're sitting in a workshop and someone goes, yeah, it's the best thing you could be doing. And we literally did that. It's like more of that, more of that. Twice as better for our customer, twice as easy, remove all the risks.
Without confidence, you have nothing. Because we just had our staff retreat 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about today about whales and little fish. And we're like, guys, we're just a whale business. We work with 10 to 12 whales a year, and it just confirmed that we just got to double down on what we're already doing and increase and improve here and here. And but to hear that today, when there's businesses in the room saying, oh, you got one whale and all these little fish for clients, or you got two big whales, but one whale got cut out, it's 50% gone. It's like, well, it's just better clarity and explain better. Some funny things for the day. They had breaks, a lot of breaks. So session break, and there was good food. So catering, there was a barista. She was Taiwanese, I remember, because she's like, oh, my sister's Taiwanese, that's what I was saying. But yeah, food was tasty. Yeah, and there was just a fridge of American drinks you can just try. Yeah.
Speaking of the food and drinks, my dad, I'm truly his son. Like as soon as he's like, I've paid for like an event, I'm taking every coffee, every drink. I had like 4 sparkling water bottles.
I felt like I did the same thing.
I had four sparkling water bottles. I had 2 coffees, and then I said, "Oh, we're wrapping up for lunch," and I grabbed some more. And then even the gluten-free desserts, which I hate, I said, I'm just going to try it. I knew before having it, I'm going to hate this. And guess what? I hated it, but I'm like, I want to try it.
You're funny.
There's something about paying for an event and they give you stuff and you're like, give it all.
Yeah. I think they wrote your name down as restrict you tomorrow. They're going to make a loss just because of that.
I found there was a lot of notes being put up that weren't on the slides that were very helpful, and I wonder if we could get them, because there was a lot of really detailed information that they were working through it quite fast, just because of the nature of how they operate. It wouldn't be a bad idea to try and get those as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Asking you shall receive, eh?
Yeah.
But with running events, so even thinking about Business Academy with Janine Alice that we run workshops and things similarly, and it's the writing and the structure of the whole thing that throws forward to the second day. So like, I think strategically you had guys that were explaining formulas like CAC and the finances and things that set up the next session for the next speaker to be for success, and keeps building and building and building. So for tomorrow, about what you were saying, when Hormozi comes, we are all primed.
Yeah.
It's all assumed knowledge that we're at this level together. But that's when we went to meet the Hollywood director in LA recently, I was telling you guys how the most important part of a film, one of them is the writer. Yeah, because everything follows the script, everything follows the structure. If it's all flashy and not just little gags here and there, you've got no substance.
And I think there was a definition. Someone might have this better than me. The definition of intelligence and the definition of learning. Did we write that down somewhere?
Intelligence equals the rate of learning.
Yes.
Yeah. Intelligence equals the rate of learning, and then learning, they mentioned, I'm botching the quote up, sorry guys. No, I think it was like learning was...
Think about the concept though. Intelligence equals the rate of learning.
Yeah, so if
how intelligent you are is equal to how
fast you actually do it.
And you can understand the information, intake the data, understand it, comprehend it, apply it.
The biggest one was the
powerful
application.
statement.
They made a big emphasis on that, is that if you change nothing from this, you don't apply at least 1 or 2 things from it immediately, then you haven't learned.
So practically, if we're learning Taekwondo or something like you guys are, if I say, like, if I teach you got to dodge this, and it hits you in the head, and I say, if you see my shoulder moves, weave,
correct,
and you actually move next time, that's the speed of learning.
The rate of learning.
Learning is defined by them as the same set of conditions, but a new behavior.
New behavior.
So if you don't have a new behavior and you're given the same set of conditions, you learn nothing at all.
That's right.
Like, that's
well
big.
said.
Because, how many times do we go off conferences? We have quarterly conferences. We'll have monthly trainings. Someone will be like, recap the learning. That was great. I really enjoyed the learning. I learned this and this. But then here we are again in month 2, or conference again in the quarter, and we're teaching the same thing. Well, that means that during that time, the same condition was given to them, but the behavior wasn't new. So it makes me reflect as a leader to go, how can I train better? How can I follow up better? How can I check in better? How can I create the systems, the checklists, the coaching, the observations? Because if the behavior is not changing, no learning's happening.
So be careful. We call them the boardroom parrot. I remember with Mark Boris, we used to talk about this a lot. It's like, be careful of the boardroom parrot, where there's someone who just repeats back to you what they've heard, but no behaviour's changed. And we got used to that with social media, and like, you can consume so much and just regurgitate it out loud. But okay, that's good that you understand it, but have you done anything about it?
I think the biggest thing is embedding. A lot of people can sit in these one-day events, and it's a lot of information consumed. But we naturally have, there's a curve that people start to forget the information. It's this whole thing that every time you replay a memory, you're rewriting the memory. So you're actually changing what was said in your own mind, and over time that diminishes. Because every time you recall, you're replaying, you're reprocessing. So the biggest thing for us when we do these workshops is then we need to be each other's accountability coach to make sure this happens and gets embedded. Because we could just as easily fly back home. It's been 5 days later. We got the workbook. We didn't take heaps of notes. And we're going, I remember that thing you said, but I wasn't quite sure. How do I do this? So it's actually the embedding, the behaviour that comes after. And for us as leaders, it's then if we bring this into our business, we have to be the ones that create the system to embed that change. Because we just can't trust that anyone's going to go, oh, that's awesome, I get it. I'm going to go back to typing. And it's just natural human behaviour, particularly at scale in a company.
I think one thing we're going to relate to, and I don't know if either the three of you picked up on this, but there was a very subtle comment when they were talking about the LTV CAC ratio and the all-over valuation of the business, is that if you make or deliver a service or something that people will love, you essentially don't need to worry about any of this.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that? I thought that was quite powerful.
All the tactics in the world, you just deliver a good product and service, good things will happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
And that way you can simplify something that might seem complicated, but if you just head towards one simplistic goal by applying all of those complicated structures and methods, if you just focus on that one goal and you make it simple and easy, great things will happen.
Yeah, because I always say this too, and they said it their own way. If you have good marketing with a bad service, you're making it fail faster. It's
that really great story in his book, which is about the hungry crowd. That's his big philosophy there. So there's that story of, do you have like the best hot dogs place on the strip, or do you want the cart? And people go, I'll have the hot dog strip because everyone can see it. It looks great. You've got the billboards and everything. And then the posing of the question is, but what if that cart was at a football game and you're the only cart that's there and everyone's hungry? Doesn't matter about marketing, doesn't matter about anything else, you've got the hungry crowd.
You can't outmarket a starving crowd, rising tides and all that.
Yeah, so just that one thing that people want, and then there you go.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, guys, leaving today, I think the biggest takeaway for us to all remember, and this will show us if we're like actually bringing it back into success, is that there are 4 possible scenarios when we're investing our time, money, and effort. We're either the right problem, doing it the wrong way, the wrong problem, doing it the wrong way, the wrong problem but doing it the right way. But what we want to do is do the right problem and handle it the right way.
Yeah,
so that's our big thing. Let's go. Recap day 1. Day 2 coming up tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
You're probably going to meet Hormozi today, Matt. What are your expectations?
I'm wondering how tall he is. I think you're as only good as the questions that you're given. Hopefully people are asking questions that he hasn't been asked on YouTube or online. I think that's the greatest challenge with big online presence. Like I remember going to see, I won't say his name, but like he has millions of followers. I paid over $1,000+ in Australia to see him, and I was disappointed. He just said the same things that he says on his YouTube videos, but I will say that it was the audience's fault because I asked him dumb, stupid questions that we already could get the answers to. I don't know, he's definitely got bigger guns than me, that's for sure.
So we've just arrived back from day 2 here at the acquisitions.com workshop in Las Vegas with my good friends Maddie and James. I want to go into one section first, and maybe we break it down by a couple of sections. The first one was business strategy, right? And the couple of things that stood out for me was fact versus feeling when leading changes, and especially from when you're in huddles and working with leadership team, a lot of people will throw the feelings because they're experienced. They've been operating successfully with gut feeling through many parts of their careers as leaders. And so those gut feels have led them right in many ways. But now it's the opportunity to not keep going down that path and take a step back and go, hey, where's the data? Like, let's get fact first before I agree for the sake of agreeing. So that was one big takeout. And then the second and third things I just want to shout out was the ICE framework for project management. So with the ICE framework, I've never heard that one before. Inside joke, he's been telling me about it for ages, but I only listen when Hormozi says it, so sorry, Anks. But the ICE framework for project management was good because it just made me feel like we've got lots to do, which is great, because then if you have lots to do, it means you're reflective to say we can improve everywhere. Yeah. But then being able to order it in terms of impact, confidence, and I forgot the E, Ankit. What's the E? Energy, ease. It's actually ease. There you go. Just realizing that if I'm working on the wrong problem in the business, it's the worst thing I could possibly do.
Yeah, it was like something like if you're working on the wrong thing in your business, it's worse than doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
Because you're deploying money, time, losing opportunity cost by doing the wrong thing.
I was fortunate enough to just get a couple of extra Q&A times with Hormozi and also just his sales team and leadership. And one thing that really was sticking with me is like best practice duplication. We calculated that if our top 2 team members in the acquisitions division, as an example, if their outputs followed through to the rest of the team in a similar way, or in any division really across the company, you have your 80-20 principle, right? That doubles our business overnight with the same team. So it's just interesting to see like the importance of best practice. And if we truly care about our team's success, it's in their best interest to also get this best practice from us as leaders, because then we're changing their lives. It's like, hey, now I've helped you unlock this. right? And so, like, that's their potential waiting for us to unlock that. So I'm really excited about just getting back into the team. And
There was a big takeout with, obviously when you're growing, you have to hire people. And I don't know what, ever had those like light bulb moments where it's just framed in a certain way and it just smashes you so hard? It's been a long time since I've been there. He just said it something like this. It's like when you go to recruit somebody and you interview someone, especially like head of marketing, head of operations, someone who's got to do a lot of stuff, to kind of like gauge if they're going to be an implementer or a manager, because sometimes the job description can be really vague, like head of. He said something like, ask them, what is your day-to-day schedule look like? So 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, what do you do? 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And if they're saying things like, I meet with my team, I meet with this, and there's no implementation, basically you got to say, what if I just took your exact same day and airdropped that into my day in my business? Would I remove the constraints in my business if you worked in it? And that was like for me, because it was like, that's like how you get context. Because you can lose 3 months hiring that person thinking they're going to implement, but they're just a massive delegator and they need a massive team to get the job done.
Yeah, they want to build something big in your business. Yeah.
And he had this framework called the minimum effective relationship. So basically, instead of like hiring them straight away, it's like instead of marrying them, date them. So tactics like, hey, I really like what you do, Arjun. We'll pay you a premium. Whatever you get paid a day, we'll pay triple for 2 days of your time. Whether you take leave, unpaid leave, to see what you can do. And a high performer will love to show, if they really want the job, they'll move mountains and want to show you and flex.
James, did you have any other pickups from your side that you really enjoyed?
Well, my biggest one, if I'm thinking about it for strategy, was, I always like, I like little stories, things that's like an anecdote that sticks so it becomes really quite transferable. And mine was that whole, the paper cut,
Yes.
So this is a narrative about Bezos having set up a division called Paper Cuts, which was about identifying where people are putting the wrong focus and wrong energy on something that didn't actually move the business forward, and having a unit where it's like, it's okay to be, death by 1,000 cuts, because if we put resources to that and it doesn't move the business towards its goal, then it's the wrong place to put that energy. So this whole concept around focus, I just really like that mentality, because we're thinking about the same thing. There's 101 different things you could do, but between that ICE framework and just like Hormozi's very, very core thing, which is focus. If you got focus and you put energy in the right problem in the right way, you get an outcome. But I love that analogy of just having a team, and your mindset should be, am I putting it in the right place? That was really cool. I really liked that.
Yeah, lastly, with the team, hiring better people, something that really stuck out to me was if your marketing person or salesperson is a 6 out of 10, and that's the best person, that means the best marketing person in your business is only a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's the law of the lid. That's the cap. Yeah, you can have all these other places doing great, but if somebody's at a 6, then
that's as good as you got in your business. So it's just like that little reframe of a ranking makes you go, I just got to hire. That's what better looks like, or average looks like. So I can't expect a 10 out of 10 result if I got a 6 out of 10 person that's worth paying them. What did Hormozi call them? Like monsters or something? Like
that's it. Yeah.
Power of observing whether someone's having an issue and it's a process issue or a person issue. Sometimes it's like easy for us to label, oh, that person's not doing good. And like, do we ever journey map and see the process that they actually do? Not just ask them for it, but observe. Like, can I observe them clicking through to present a property? Wow, okay, is my way of doing this technology driven, ease of doing this holding them back from being a performer? Because they could be doing much better. So little things like they shared on actually process review as well as person review, and not just discuss it, but observe it. And so just making sure we go deeper into that was a final recap from me on the people side.
Yeah, cool. We all got something really a lot out of the marketing.
Yeah, marketing. What was your big takeout?
Oh, there was a fair few. What have you guys been saying the whole time? Confirmation or what?
Yeah.
Confidence, confirmation. And what was the other percent that was new?
Well, for us, it was like, it was probably about 80% confirmation that we were already going down the right path. And there was just a 20%, which is like a reframe. Just looking at this a bit differently with a new lens to go, okay, so if we think about it in this way, then there's actually a whole potential there that we've never considered before. But so much of it was just confirmation we're doing, the right thing. But it's that 20% that matters, right? That becomes the motivator for you to rethink.
Yeah, that's what a lot of confirmation with the marketing for our end as an agency. Just with the amount of creative you need way more creative than you think.
Yeah.
Say, what were they saying? Per 1,000 ad spend,
one creative
What
tested
creative
per
test?
$1,000 of monthly ad spend. So if you're doing 100K a month in ad spending, it's
You need
100 creatives to
creatives.
test. And with that 100 creatives, they said 70% is the stuff that you're doing well, 20% of it is variations of what you know that's working well, and then 10% is complete new
Total
experimentation. Just
Yeah,
what's
total
new.
experiments.
I mean,
Yeah.
on that whole marketing piece as well, sometimes when I realize looking at it, we're doing a lot of different omnipresent approaches, and you think that's great, and I'm sure it is. But the opportunity to take a step back, get cleaner with your data, even reduce multiple funnels down to one or two to get them really working well, and then be able to go, okay, well, now we know what's working, let's then build on that even further. And then lastly, when it comes to branding, it's like making sure that we realize that the world of just direct to consumer or direct response more so
direct offer, yeah.
is a world that's fading away, and you need to continue to make positive brand plays, and that's something I feel like we've been doing.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm really happy with the direction, and again, just confirmation of the direction.
You know, I really loved
Yeah.
on that was just like that final moment today where they did a very simple exercise of just gauging how many people had bought the tickets for this event over what time frame of knowing Alex. So
2+ years.
Yeah, it's like hands up who discovered Alex in the last 7 days, then bought it.
No
How many
one put their hands up,
Last
yeah.
30 days, few hands.
Yeah.
Under a year, few more hands. Like 2+ years, more and more. So it's just showing that that whole brand play it's a long, slow burn, but it really lowers the friction for a consumer when they come in.
Yeah.
So it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
You boys being in real estate, I attribute brand to be like that. So brand is a long-term investment that has a huge ROI. So Hormozi was saying that brand is the antidote to the dire direct marketing results that America's feeling right now from the big brands.
Yeah.
He's basically saying you could market to a cold audience 8 years ago and sell $10,000 tickets to, and they don't know you. But today, stranger danger.
Yeah.
Stranger danger. So he said that it took 3 years or 2 years, and they can map that whole journey out from when we saw the content right through to when we spent thousands of dollars seeing him now. And that's what I got from the marketing and sales guys, was that I asked the sales guys and marketing guys, what are the marketing assets that set your sales team up for success? And they said, well, we know basically if someone's on a call and it's a setting call, not even a closer call, and okay, you've seen Hormozi for more than a year, you've been looking at this product for more than a year, they just go ask for the sale then.
Yeah.
Because they're the key metrics for that. And I was just thinking about you guys and all our businesses, that process of time spent with you,
Yeah.
and what they've already decided. I trust you guys.
Yeah.
Like, get out of my road. Like,
Yeah.
let's let me sign up now.
100%. And I also love that because that then respects the person's investment, because we always talk about this in sales is like how much work do we get somebody to do before we make them the offer. You know, you got like your pre-call training, there's videos you got to watch, etc. But if they've spent 3 years consuming your content, then why we ask them to do more? We should just say, well, like, hey, what's the final thing it's going to take for you to say yes? And it doesn't need to be another 3 hours of content or whatever. They've spent 3 years. Like, I thought that was great too. It was a really good takeaway.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think what I got from the marketing guy was you need a CRM. That's the fundamentals. But systematizing versus automation. So automation obviously is done for you. So someone clicks, they get sent something. But systems is humans and cadence. So like with sales and all that, it's like reps and all that stuff.
And I love on the back of that final bit, which is they spoke about the operationalize. I can't even say the word. The operationalization. There you go. It's a tongue twister. Of taking those top performers and then systemizing that across. So like a mark of a real top performer in a business in a leadership role is, can they actually take that, turn that into a process, which then becomes the framework within that division. And that people aspect to it is something that I think can get lost as you grow and get bigger. You just go, I just need top talent and that's it. I need basic tools. Well, it's not that. It's like you need your top talent and then go, how do I turn what they do into an operation to systemize so it's consistency?
Yeah.
And that I thought was a very cool takeaway from like a people and strategy and operational perspective.
Absolutely. And I think just wrapping this all up, guys, it's like we go back knowing two things. One is where to focus our energy on. And off the back of that, it's because we know rules, metrics, formulas, and frameworks to follow. So that's my biggest thing, is that I'm going to have formulas to look at this and go, that's not that bad. Let it go. That's actually quite good. Show percentage, conversion percentage, or something like that. Why am I, like the old Arjun would have tripled down until we got that to the best. But that's just the CEO placing wrong efforts, wrong time, wrong area. And I'm going to stop that. I think going back, you're going to see me more locked in than ever at the right area, producing more content for my clients to be able to see, like, hey, this is what we can do for you long term. Producing more content for Australians out there to go, hey, this is the mistakes you want to avoid. This is how you get it right. If I can place myself into that zone as much as possible, the worst case is you helped a lot of people that didn't reach out as much. The best case is you helped a lot of people and they reached out and you helped them even more.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything wrong with doubling that. And I think I have to kind of almost look at myself and be, it worked so well for you and the many Aussies and your team members out there from doubling it from the year prior. Why don't you just do it again?
Yeah. And that, you know what was really cool, just to wrap up too, because we're going to wrap up then, but people are probably thinking, what was Hormozi like?
Yeah.
What was Alex Hormozi? Was he that tall? Did he have a bit? Was he nice? Was he a dick? Do you know what? There was 10 questions that were asked for Alex Hormozi, and we were 2 of them.
Yeah, let's go.
The Aussie boys. It was so cool.
And he's promised us a shoey.
Yeah, he
for
has.
his Sydney book.
Launch, yep.
The book, the book launch. That's right.
Yeah, yep.
So we'll have to hold him to it. Hormozi, Shuey coming up.
Shuey, buddy.
Shuey. It's cool that he knows I'm a Shuey.
And you got to ask the first question as
I
well.
got to ask the first question.
Yeah.
And basically, I asked him a philosophical question, more than a business question. And it was more around, it was a bit deep. It was around, if your soul had a KPI, what would they be, and are you on track? And he spent a fair bit of time riffing out his brain on that, because he acts agnostic, but I think watching his con over time, it's very logical, but he's into the deep stuff.
He's got deep beliefs.
Yeah. What you guys said on his beliefs and his thoughts, we were actually making fun, like technically, of Hormozi a little bit before, and we're saying, I bet he's going to come out and do just do more. Just do more. And do like that rich man, rich woman like advice where you're like, you're just not doing enough. Let's just leave it at that. But he was the complete opposite. He gave us depth, he gave us time, gave us energy, asked questions back, clarified more, got into our numbers, gave us a depth if we weren't feeling it, let us ask questions back more subsequent. That's special.
It was a conversation. We had a good lengthy conversation each with Hormozi, and I loved your conversation with Hormozi because one, we were all chuffed that he was impressed.
Yeah.
Like he heard your numbers. He's like, I could see his face. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
22. Oh, wow. And his encouragement to you was, why don't you just do more? Well, he did do
He
that.
did actually do the
Yeah,
do more.
but he gave us depth afterwards.
He gave you depth.
If you cut the video, if there was a cut of the video at that point, you'd be like, Aj, you were right. Dude's a wanker. Why did he do that? But then, absolute opposite. He gave us more depth.
Yeah.
He gave him his so you gave him context and the numbers and how you got to where you are, and he's like doing all the math on your profit. He's like, why don't you just double down on brand, double down on marketing, and there's no reason why you won't double your results.
Yeah.
And it's just confirmation.
Absolutely. And motivation. Because you know how we got off the back of that conversation. 5 minutes later, let's go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
And if I can say, whether it's controversial or not, he was not the highlight for me of these last 2 days.
Very true.
And I actually really love that because we spent the most time with the rest of that team. And the rest of the team brought as much value at every step of the way. And all he did was kind of coalesce that. He just brought it together to say that this whole team lives and breathes what he's about. So in terms of like leadership and aspirations, the fact that he was, for lack of a better term, inherently redundant because there was so much value he'd given those in his team that they were able to give as much to us.
I've got to praise Hormozi for that as a personal branding guy.
Massive.
Is that he demonstrated by that event attracting 84 businesses around the world, paying minimum $5,000 US, which is nearly $500,000 just because we heard of him.
Yep.
But he was hardly there operationally, but his team were very much like him.
Yeah.
But specialists in their thing, and we had all our answers, questions answered without him there. By the time he got there, you're right, all the work had been done.
Yeah.
We're scratching heads where we are, going,
What should we ask him?
We were seriously struggling.
We literally had that moment of going, well, we know what we need to do.
Yeah, we just
Getting it from Hormozi directly, I just felt that was a beautiful way to actually just confirm that what we've been hearing from this team over 2 days was so in line with him. Because that's him speaking through that team. So that's like a massive, massive achievement for him.
Absolute inspiration for us all as leaders, right? Is to be able to continue to help our team grow in that way and see themselves to be like the standouts as well to others, not me, not you, not us, And I think there's one thing that really stood out to me is that if you actually look at the backgrounds of all those people he mentioned, they were all like letting go of entrepreneurship. They were all letting go of massive businesses that they'd scaled and exited, which means they could do it again, to be a part of someone's vision. And so it's made me, not that I don't do this, but now I'm going to do it even more. It's like, hey, I have a vision. It has to be as bold as possible. It has to be shared as much as possible. My team need to know the part that they'll play in the future as part of this, and really just making sure that the team here and the future team as well that comes in can see that they want to be a part of this, even if it may be a smaller part versus running a whole business. They feel that what we're doing and what we're about to build is far more valuable than anything else.
Yeah, agreed.
Like that's the biggest thing for me. Is like, hey, I need to keep making sure I do that.
And I'm going to say, as a friend and as a brother, you are one of those guys that I think InvestorKit is at the point where people will leave their own kingdom, where they're a king, to be able to work with you. It's happening, and it's going to continue that way. And the best compliment we can get as leaders is this: your team are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. Amen.
Thank you.
awesome.
That's day 2.
That's it.
Recap. Catch us on the next one.